there's definitely some cool tools that are gonna make playing Evoker feel different than some other classes, but I'm definitely not. I'm not convinced yet that it's gonna be like super strong or overpowered or anything like that. So we'll kind of have to see. All right, I'm happy to just start this off with a Flame Breath, but he keeps kiting me out of the stuff, so already off to a kind of questionable start here. Let's get a good Eternity Surge off on 2 targets, and then we're just doing 2-target cleave, so I'm happy to just kind of spam Disintegrates here. Every time that Eternity Surge procs off of Scintillation onto the 2 targets, that's just money. So right now, I would say on the beta, melee classes are pretty highly tuned in dungeons. They feel like they're doing a ton of damage. Devastation was looking pretty ridiculous at the start, but they have seen tuning since, so a little bit on the more calm side of things now, in terms of you know, they're doing sort of ethical damage, so to speak. But anyway, here we've actually got some targets, so I'm just gonna get some Pyres out. Which is our red spender untapped AoE cleave. You saw we got up to like 55k or something on that one. I used cooldowns, granted, so not too bad. Alright, what are we pulling next? Alright, so three targets. No, we're going to 6. We're not doing baby pulls. This is real pulls. Alright, let's see if I can get a max rank fire breath on all of this. Great. You always follow up with living flame, because that's going to cleave onto a bunch of targets, and that's very nice. Follow with a max rank Eternity Surge, and we're going to go back into, we're going to fill here with Azure Strike on this many targets. Okay, I pulled Threat, that's not ideal. And then we're going to fill with Pyre on, well, I thought we had 6 targets, but I guess they've already died, so. When we drop down to 4, I definitely want to go back to my Disintegrate rotation, but doing okay. The enhancement definitely just took off with that one, but as long as I'm competing on damage, I feel alright right now. It's obviously still like pre-tuning and everything, so I'm not like super worried about you know, everything necessarily. But okay, this I hate, so I'm gonna sit here and try and live that. Which is fine. Okay. Oh, does that do dot damage? That's the thing. So a lot of greedy moments with Devastation if you're sitting there and you're like already halfway done casting your Empower. To have to drop it feels real bad, and you don't get to. You don't benefit from Hover with Empower. So the cast while moving of Hover doesn't work with your Empower spells, which is quite irritating. So, alright, we're going to have our cooldowns up for this, so that's quite nice. We're getting Bloodlust here. I'm going to continue to Disintegrate until I run out of Essence Bursts. Then we're going to go here and start doing our stuff. But this is kind of the rotation. Like, when I'm in cooldowns, I'm just going Living Flame. The boss ranges me. you can't make this stuff up, dude. Like, we're just talking about like what happens with the range restriction. I'm not gonna max rank that Living Flame because the boss is almost dead. Or sorry, the Fire Breath. I probably didn't even need a rank 3 to be honest, but I did want to get it off. If I know the boss is gonna die, I guess doing a Fire Breath isn't like the biggest deal on a single target thing. Like I might as well just keep popping a couple more Flame Breaths. Alright, we all made it. Very nice. Super good. Alright, so we got 3 targets here. Let's see. I'm gonna pull more? Yeah. Oh, here we go. I'm just gonna do a quick deep breath here just to kind of stun and group them all up. That deep breath was not necessarily like optimal damage or anything, but just throwing out a nice little AoE stun on that pull I think is helpful. I don't know. I'm not necessarily like, or I haven't been historically a huge like M plus like high M plus pusher or anything either, but I'm trying to get a nice feel for what's in this kit in terms of kind of utility buttons and that sort of thing, and being able to throw out a nice little deep breath every once in a while just to stun stuff is quite nice. You also have a couple of nice little option here. Let me get a good little setup on these guys. I didn't quite get the full fire breath that I would have wanted. I can definitely get a max rank Eternity Surge here, which is quite nice. Follow that up with a Disintegrate. There's only 2 targets left, so we're just going to do our single target rotation and then getting capped with a Binding Spear, of course, you know. Probably die here. What else is new? We're good, we're good. No big deal. Cool. We only need a level 2 Eternity Search here because there's only 4 targets. Any more would be a waste. I'm kind of upset that I used my Essence Burst Disintegrate on that guy. And then we're getting the Binding Spear again. I need to see. I'm probably missing like a ground effect or something that's causing that one. But I need to check. If it's just random targeted, then unlucky. Could be the case. Scar Rogue. Could it be the Skarzard in my key? Oh. I didn't actually want to let that go on rank 3, but I kind of lost sight of my board. These guys might have been a good set of enemies to use my stuff on. Or my cooldowns. That's okay. Oh, God. Oh, no. Ah, crap. Unluck. I was trying to dodge that Binding Spear, and I did dodge it, but then I pulled these guys. Not ideal. Alrighty, this guy is a boss. Yeah, alright. So, same thing here. I'm actually going to open with Disintegrate, because we're on... I'm going to open with a Living Flame. I've got 7 seconds on my Charge Blast. I'd like to... Okay, cool. So I'm just going to do a quick Disintegrate. We're not going to get anything out of it. I'll go right into my cooldowns. And then we'll go. If you're a little bit bored right now, that's normal. Does he take more damage right now or anything, or is it just... Alright. That's a boss. Okay, so we did top damage. That's nice. Disintegrate did 38%. Living Flame was 26%. So that's a very standard single target fight with cooldowns ripped right on the pull. Now, I apparently didn't have Bloodlust on that one. I could have looked at my buffs to see if it was going to be a Bloodlust pull or not, but we didn't. So here we are. What that would have maybe changed is that this spec, the way that the mastery works, it really does affect how you want to use your cooldown. The cooldown, like, Dragon Rage basically does two main things, this ability. Or, well, let's say it does three things just for fun. It throws pyres, and pyres do some damage. They're better on AoE, granted, but pyres do damage. It makes your Eternity Burst proc chance 100%. So you're always going to proc Eternity... Or, sorry, Essence Burst is what I meant to say if I didn't. So that's quite nice. And then the third thing it does is you basically always take the button called Ruin right underneath that in the Talons. And Ruin makes sure that your Mastery activates at every percentage. Sorry, that you get full value from your Mastery, basically. Whatever health the enemy's on. So if you only get one use of your 2-minute cooldown in a fight, generally speaking, better to use that cooldown towards the end of the fight when you're not benefiting as much from your mastery. Again, the Devastation Evoker mastery basically says the higher health your enemy is, the more damage you do to them. And that Ruin effect on Dragon Rage says, hey, you get that full value no matter what. So logic states, hey, boss on low health, use that ability so that you get that mastery value when you wouldn't be otherwise. And so this spec is kind of interesting in that sense, because the last time I really had to think, you know, hey, when is this boss going to die and work backwards from there in terms of planning my cooldowns, was when I was playing like Surrender to Madness Shadow Priest, right? Because then I need to be like, okay, I need to start counting down from when there's like, you know, 2 minutes left in the fight. And that's the only way to really inform when I'm going to use my cooldown. Okay, this is worst case. When you have a pack at half health, and then you pull that into the next pack. I only get my dots on half of everything. It's upsetting. I don't really know if I get to use my cleave buttons or my single target buttons, but we'll adapt. It's fine. But yeah, basically what that says to me is, yeah, you actually want to, generally speaking, delay your cooldowns as long as possible, because you want to kind of use them in reverse of how much health the boss has, as much as you can. I don't know what's happening here. Am I going to die? Okay, whatever. This is probably fine. So on that fight, I just basically popped my cooldowns on the pull. I probably could have waited until the boss was at like 50% and then used my cooldowns. And then my damage meters probably would have shown a higher number, right? It's fine either way. Like, I'm not too worried about like super duper min-maxing. And the thing is that there's always the argument that, you know, if I use it like right away, if I'm gonna get a second usage, or I can use it on the next pack instead of having to wait, right? There's always there's always a trade-off somewhere, but it's just something to think about at the very least. But this next boss, whenever we get to it, probably just gonna pop it on the pull anyway, because we're gonna have lust, so would make the most sense to me to just do that. Alrighty, let's see what we've got here. Just a normal everyday pull with lots of stuff. Yeah, it wasn't so bad. Alright, let's see how we do down these stairs. I don't think I got my Eternity Surge off. I think the enemy died before it got off. It's very upsetting. I mean, I could have seen that coming, but... It was kind of an interesting pull. A little bit scrappy. Still not really using my cooldowns. This is the boss, right? Yeah. So we'll probably do Probably pull that stuff together. Then do the boss. One thing I am gonna have to practice is like figuring out kind of how to set up on enemies, because getting that good flame breath positioning right off the jump is kind of annoying. I'm not very good at that yet. But if I'm not, you know, at the very least I need to be coming in like spamming Azure Strike or the odd Pyre or something, just to make sure I'm getting some value out of that time that I'm sitting there trying to like figure out my positioning. Alright, so I think we're gonna get Bloodlust here, right? Is he gonna use it? Oh, no. Alright, whatever. We're just gonna go now. I mean, I have Bloodlust, but I wouldn't dare use it, you know? The Shaman, like, claimed it when he used it earlier in the fight, so who am I to judge? I might want to save it for the last boss, you know? Okay, this better hit him. Alright. Not bad. Got one more boss to go, right? Where are we going? Up here? Mr. Demon Hunter, we need you. You're the tank. He's probably still clicking on the shield. I think that shield, what it says is something like, you need 25 blacksmithing to use this thing. And then, I'm sure it's some sort of, like, cool little dungeon buff that you get, that you can use for the group or something. Since it's near the end of the dungeon, I'm sure it's kind of like, what's it called? No, there are a couple. There's, like, the Aegis in Halls of Valor that we're getting back, which is cool. There's the shield in Sanguine Depths, right? Those have, like, gameplay implications, those two, but they also just give you a buff for your group. So, I imagine it's probably something like that. I'd have to check. So far, though, yeah, this one is what? Neltharus. The Neltharus dungeon. I don't mind this one. If I remember correctly, this isn't in the first rotation. Might be in the second rotation. Oh, nice. I got the going down achievement. Let's go. Rite of passage. That was useful. I just used Fly With Me on the Demon Hunter as he, like, ran forward. Okay, so this boss is kind of interesting. There's an intermission phase, basically, where he makes you, like, dig through some crap on the ground. Okay, so I'm not gonna delay, because I want to just get value from Bloodlust, so let's just do... I'm like focusing very carefully on this very difficult 1-2 rotation. Getting that living flame out, getting that disintegrate out. There's a second target. I could hit it. I'm just gonna cleave onto it normally. Okay, so now the boss puts up a big shield. You're not doing a ton of damage to it, but now you have this thing. This stuff basically deals a bunch of damage to the absorb shield in different ways. So you're just gonna get those things out. It's very cool. Oh, alright, so this is what I struggle with. I will, like, forget, basically, to put back up my empowers after I've had to do a mechanic. I'm very bad about this, so... My empower skill uptime probably suffered on this boss, but we got there. Okay, so no loot, very upsetting, but did get a customization for my proto drakes. Very cool. Pretty much everyone did. Nice. All right. Well, there we go. That's Neltharus. All right. Twitch. So what I've been doing is I've actually been taking my taking these dungeon runs, cutting them up to post onto YouTube. So I'm gonna want to make a note basically of where we are in the VOD technically. So we're 35 minutes in. So maybe I'll just I think there's a way to go like highlight, like set highlight or something like that. But let me just figure this out real quick. I go to my dashboard. Clip that, edit stream sub, prediction, quick